The day I won $53 million, my daughter Lisa and her husband Miguel went pale because for months they'd been charging me $1, $400 to sleep in their guest room while I fixed their house for free. I'm Franklin Frank Thompson, 67, a retired construction foreman, and this is the day I stopped being their paycheck. This isn't a lottery story. It's how a father turned family betrayal into justice, starting with one decision that changed everything. Want to know what I did next? Hit subscribe right now so you won't miss the rest of this story or the next tale of family betrayal and justice. My name is Franklin Thompson. Everyone calls me Frank. I'm walking to Murphy's Corner store in Bakersfield, California, same as I've done every Friday for 32 years. Same $5 bill in my pocket, same hope that maybe this time will be different. Morning, Mr. Thompson. Jimmy Murphy calls from behind the counter. He's 28 now, but still remembers when I'd bring my daughter Lisa in for penny candy. Back when she was 8 and thought her old man could fix anything. The usual Jimmy. He prints my ticket 7-14-23-31-45 Powerball 18. Same number since 1992. 7 for the day I married Helen. 14 for Lisa's birthday. 23 for our anniversary. 31 for our old house number. 45 for my retirement age. 18 for Lisa's high school graduation. This could be your week. Jimmy says same as always. Well, we'll see. I tuck the ticket in my wallet next to Helen's old license. Can't bring myself to throw it away even after 2 years. Walking home, I passed the Hendersons' place, built the foundation in '95. The Martinez house did their whole addition in 2001. This neighborhood's got my fingerprints all over it. 40 years of Thompson construction and people still wave when they see my old Ford pickup. Of course, these days I'm not driving it to job sites. I'm driving it to Lisa's McMansion in Seven Oaks, where I pay $1, $400 a month to live in what she calls the guest room. Most guests don't hand over their entire Social Security check as rent. Lisa's BMW is in the driveway. My truck gets street parking. 3-car garage is organized around their lifestyle. I can see her through the kitchen window pacing with her phone. Probably another real estate deal falling through. Business hasn't been great lately. Frank, is that you? Her voice has that edge it gets when she's stressed. Just me. I call back, hanging my jacket on the hook where she used to hang her school backpack, where Helen hung her gardening gloves, where families hang things because they belong somewhere. The day Helen died, everything changed. Grief blinds you to vultures circling overhead, especially when one's your own daughter. Dad, you can't stay in that big house alone, Lisa said, driving home from the funeral. January 2022, coldest day of the year. It's not practical. Helen would have hated that word. Practical. We'd built our life on love, not spreadsheets. I've managed 67 years without a babysitter, I said. But the maintenance, the upkeep, Miguel added from the driver's seat. What if something happens? See, Miguel's a financial advisor. Makes his living telling people what to do with their money. Problem is his clients have been dropping like flies. Man's stressed about his own bills while lecturing me about mine. Besides, Lisa said we have plenty of room. Sophia and Diego would love having Grandpa closer. Sophia and Diego, my 8-year-old granddaughter and 10-year-old grandson. The only good thing to come out of this mess. Lisa's house is 200 square feet of granite countertops and monthly payments that would have kept me awake at night. But what did I know? Just a guy who'd paid off his house in 1987 and saved every penny for 35 years. The first month was fine. I cooked breakfast, fixed what needed fixing, watched the kids when Lisa and Miguel needed couple time. Seemed grateful, though they never offered to split groceries despite my Social Security going toward household contributions. By month 3, requests became expectations. Dad, could you fix the deck railing? You know, construction. Frank, could you pick up dry cleaning? You're going to town anyway. Dad watched the kids this weekend. Miguel booked us a spa trip to Pismo. I was becoming unpaid maintenance staff, but I told myself it was temporary, just until the grief wasn't so raw. Should have listened to Helen's voice. Franklin, when people show you who they are, believe them. Summer brought the financial arrangement discussion. "Dad, we need to formalize your contribution to household expenses," Lisa said one morning, spreading papers across her granite island like she was pitching a client. The breakdown hit me like a sledgehammer. $800 for the guest room, $300 utilities, $300 food. Total $1, $400, $50 less than my monthly Social Security. "This seems high," I said carefully. Mistake number one being too polite. "Dad, you're using the kitchen bathroom laundry, plus Sophia and Diego stay weekends, which increases wear and tear." Wear and tear. She was itemizing my grandchildren. I signed because what choice did I have at 67 with $50 monthly discretionary income? Apartment hunting wasn't realistic. "This is temporary," Miguel assured me, "until we figure out something long-term." The long-term plan involved me becoming invisible. By fall, I was doing repairs yard work, babysitting. When Lisa entertained clients, I served drinks, then disappeared. But the kids kept me sane. Sophia would sneak into the garage where I kept my tools. "Grandpa, teach me to hammer." She'd whisper like we were planning a bank heist. "Why are we whispering, sweetheart?" "Mommy says tools are dangerous, but you built houses right. Houses aren't dangerous." Smart kid. Too smart. Diego was the same way. "Grandpa, why do you pay Mommy rent?" he asked one Saturday while we worked on a birdhouse. "Families don't charge each other money." Out of the mouths of babes. Sometimes grown-ups make things complicated. I said, not wanting to poison them against their parents. Maybe my biggest mistake. "Are you sad living here?" Sophia asked. Looking at her serious little face, I realized I was teaching these kids that being old meant being powerless, that families could treat you like a business transaction. "No, honey, Grandpa's fine." But I wasn't fine, and Lisa knew it. Dad's been different lately. I heard her tell Miguel one night, less cooperative, like I was an employee having attitude problems. The breaking point came in November. Lisa hosted a dinner party for Miguel's investment firm. After serving appetizers and cleaning up, I overheard her talking to Miguel's partner. "It's worked out perfectly. Dad handles maintenance and childcare, and his Social Security covers his expenses, like having live-in help that pays you." The partner laughed. "Smart setup, you should patent it." Standing there with dirty glasses, listening to my life discussed like a business model, something hardened inside me. This wasn't family helping family. This was exploitation. But I didn't say anything. Just went to my room and sat looking at family photos Helen insisted I bring. Lisa's graduation where she thanked me for teaching her integrity. Her wedding where she called me her hero. Helen would be ashamed of what I'd become and what our daughter had become. December brought Lisa's announcement about converting the basement. "Dad, exciting news." She spread architect drawings across the dining table. "Your own apartment downstairs, complete privacy, separate entrance, your own kitchenette." The basement. After building homes my whole life, my daughter wanted me in the basement. What if I don't want to move downstairs? The silence was deafening. "Dad," she said carefully, "we need our main living space back, as a couple." Translation, "You're inconvenient." That's when I started noticing their spending. New furniture monthly, vacation photos from Napa Tahoe, San Diego, Miguel's BMW upgrade while my truck leaked oil on their street. Then I saw the property tax bill, $1,800 annually. My monthly payment, $1,400. Times 12, $1,800. I wasn't paying household expenses. I was paying their property taxes while they lived rent-free. Walking to Murphy's that Friday, I felt every one of my 67 years, but also something else. The stubborn determination that built Thompson Construction from nothing. "This could be your week, Mr. Thompson," Jimmy said, handing me my ticket. "Jimmy," I said, tucking those numbers in my wallet, "I got a feeling you might be right." Walking home, I heard Lisa on the phone. "Dad's getting harder to manage. We might need other options." I stood in the doorway, lottery ticket in my hand, and made a decision. Win or lose, things were about to change. Because sometimes the universe has a sense of humor. And sometimes it takes 32 years of patience to learn that the people who should love you most can hurt you worst. But they had no idea what Franklin Thompson was capable of when pushed too far. But before those lottery numbers would change everything, I had to watch my family fall apart from the inside. And once you start seeing the cracks, you can't unsee them. My days started at 5 a.m. Old construction habits die hard. While Lisa and Miguel slept until 7:30, I'd be making coffee and breakfast. On weekends, when Sofia and Diego stayed over, I'd get them ready for whatever activities Lisa had scheduled. "Grandpa, why do you wake up so early?" Sofia asked one Saturday, climbing onto my lap while I drank coffee in the pre-dawn quiet. "Built houses for 40 years, sweetheart. Got used to beating the sun to work." "Did you like building houses?" "Loved it. Every foundation I poured, every wall I framed, that was a family's dream coming true." She was quiet for a moment. Then, "Do you miss it?" Looking at her serious little face, I realized how much I did miss it. Miss being Franklin Thompson, respected contractor, instead of Frank the live and help? "Yeah, honey, I do." Diego wandered in, rubbing sleepy eyes. "Morning, Grandpa. Mom said you're moving to the basement soon." My coffee went cold in my hands. "Did she now?" "She said you'll have your own place down there, like an apartment." He climbed into the chair beside me. "But I don't want you in the basement. Basements are dark and scary." "It won't be scary if Grandpa's there, right?" Sofia said, but her voice was small. These kids understood what their parents didn't, or maybe wouldn't. That sticking an old man in a basement wasn't independence. It was isolation. "Don't worry about the basement," I said. "Grandpa's got some thinking to do first." After the kids went home Sunday evening, I overheard Lisa and Miguel in their bedroom. Their voices carried through the thin walls. Lisa thought provided privacy. "The Hendricks account dropped us," Miguel said. "That's 3 this month." "My listings aren't moving either," Lisa replied. "Market's brutal right now." We can't afford to lose Dad's contribution. Not with the mortgage payment and..." Their voices dropped, but I'd heard enough. They weren't helping me out of generosity. They needed my Social Security check to keep afloat. Monday morning brought Lisa's friend Margaret for coffee. I served them in the living room, invisible as always. "How's the arrangement with your father working out?" Margaret asked. "Honestly, it's been a godsend." Lisa stirred her coffee. "Dad's handy with repairs, great with the kids, and his monthly contribution covers a big chunk of our fixed expenses." "Smart. My mother's in assisted living, $1,500 a month, and she's miserable." "Dad's only paying $1,400, and he gets family home-cooked meals, help with everything." $1,400 versus $1,500. I was saving a whopping $100 a month to live in someone else's house and work for free. Plus, Lisa continued, "When he moves to the basement apartment, we can convert his room to Miguel's home office. Tax write-off." Tax write-off. Even my displacement was a business opportunity. Tuesday brought the breaking point I'd been dreading. Sofia had stayed overnight some school event Lisa couldn't attend. I was helping her with math homework when she asked the question that shattered my heart. "Grandpa, did I do something wrong?" "What do you mean, sweetheart?" "Mommy said I can't come visit as much anymore. That you need space to transition to your new apartment." Her eyes filled with tears. "Did I make you sad?" I pulled her into my lap, this little girl who thought she'd driven her grandfather away. "Sofia, listen to me. You and Diego are the best part of my day. You didn't do anything wrong. Not ever. Then why can't I see you? How do you explain to an 8-year-old that her mother is using her as leverage? That scheduled visits are about control, not care? Grown-ups sometimes make decisions that don't make sense," I said. "But I promise you this, nothing will ever stop me from loving you and your brother." She hugged me tight. "I love you too, Grandpa, even if you have to live in the scary basement." That night I called my old foreman buddy Bill Hartman. We'd worked together for 20 years before he retired to Arizona. "Frank, how you holding up with the family situation?" "Honestly, Bill, I'm starting to think Helen saw this coming." "She was a smart woman." "What's going on?" I told him about the monthly payments, the basement plan, the isolation from my grandchildren. Bill listened without interrupting. Jesus, Frank, they're treating you like a tenant. Worse, tenants have rights. What are you going to do? Still figuring that out. I looked at my lottery ticket tucked behind Helen's photo. But something's got to give. The next morning, Miguel cornered me in the garage. His usual financial advisor confidence was shaky around the edges. Frank, I wanted to discuss the basement timeline. We're hoping to expedite construction. Why the rush? His laugh was forced, just eager to get you settled in your new space. But I could see the stress lines around his eyes, the way his hands shook slightly. Man was scared about something. Probably those lost clients Lisa mentioned. Miguel, can I ask you something? Sure. When you married Lisa, did you plan on having her old man move in? His face went red. It's not like that, Frank. Your family. Family that pays rent. It's not rent, it's contribution to shared expenses at market rates. Frank, I'm trying to help you understand. Understand what? That you need my check to make your mortgage? The garage went quiet except for the hum of their fancy refrigerator. That's not fair, Miguel said finally. Fair? You want to talk about fair? I stood up from my workbench. Fair is being treated like family, not a revenue stream. Fair is not having my time with my grandchildren scheduled like business appointments. Miguel backed toward the door. You're upset. I get it. Change is hard at your age. At my age. Like being 67 made me too stupid to see what was happening. Miguel, I've been managing change since before you were born. Built a business, raised a family, survived a war and a recession, and losing the love of my life. Don't talk to me about change being hard. He left without another word. That evening, Lisa tried a different approach. She knocked on my door around 9, looking like the little girl who used to ask me to check for monsters in her closet. Dad, can we talk? She sat on my bed, same spot where she used to curl up during thunderstorms. Miguel said you two had words. We had a conversation? Dad, I know this isn't ideal. The living arrangement, the basement plan. But we're doing the best we can. Looking at her face, I saw flashes of the daughter I'd raised. The one who cried when her hamster died, who made me Father's Day cards with crooked letters. Lisa, what happened to us? She was quiet for a long moment. Mom died, and everything got complicated. Your mother's death didn't make you start charging me rent. It's not just rent, Dad. We're struggling too. Miguel's lost half his clients this year. My real estate commissions are down 70%. The mortgage, the car payments, Sophia's piano lessons, Diego's soccer. Her voice cracked. We're drowning. For a second, I almost felt sorry for them. Almost. So you decided to throw your old man a life preserver made of concrete? That's not what we're doing. Then what are you doing, Lisa? Because from where I sit, it looks like you're using my grief and loneliness to solve your financial problems. She stood up, the vulnerable daughter disappearing behind the real estate agent mask. Dad, you're being dramatic. We've given you a home family purpose. Purpose? My purpose is to subsidize your lifestyle, while you plan to stick me in the basement. The basement apartment is for your independence. Independence with no car access and supervised visitation with my own grandchildren. She left without answering, slamming the door hard enough to rattle Helen's photo on my nightstand. Friday morning, walking to Murphy's Corner store, I felt something shift inside me. Past the Henderson place, the Martinez house, all these homes I'd built with pride and craftsmanship. My own family saw me as a problem to be managed, not a man to be respected. Same numbers, Mr. Thompson? Jimmy asked. Same numbers. I tucked the ticket away carefully. Jimmy, you ever feel like you're invisible in your own life? Sometimes. Why? Just wondering if it gets better. He studied my face. Mr. Thompson, you built half this town. That counts for something. Walking home, I passed Lisa on her phone. Dad's getting more difficult. The basement move might need to happen sooner than planned. I stood there listening to my daughter discuss my future like a business problem lottery ticket burning a hole in my wallet. That night I made a decision. Win or lose. I was done being Franklin Thompson, the inconvenient old man who paid rent to live in his daughter's shadow. It was time to remember who Frank Thompson really was. But before those lottery numbers would change everything I had, to watch my family fall apart from the inside. And once you start seeing the cracks, you can't unsee them. My days started at 5 a.m. Old construction habits die hard. While Lisa and Miguel slept until 7:30, I'd be making coffee and breakfast. On weekends when Sophia and Diego stayed over, I'd get them ready for whatever activities Lisa had scheduled. Grandpa, why do you wake up so early? Sophia asked one Saturday, climbing onto my lap while I drank coffee in the pre-dawn quiet. Built houses for 40 years, sweetheart. Got used to beating the sun to work. Did you like building houses? Loved it. Every foundation I poured, every wall I framed, that was a family's dream coming true. She was quiet for a moment. Then, do you miss it? Looking at her serious little face, I realized how much I did miss it. Miss being Franklin Thompson, respected contractor, instead of Frank the live-in help. Yeah, honey, I do. Diego wandered in, rubbing sleepy eyes. Morning, Grandpa. Mom said you're moving to the basement soon. My coffee went cold in my hands. Did she now? She said you'll have your own place down there, like an apartment. He climbed into the chair beside me. But I don't want you in the basement. Basements are dark and scary. It won't be scary if Grandpa's there, right? Sophia said, but her voice was small. These kids understood what their parents didn't, or maybe wouldn't. That sticking an old man in a basement wasn't independence. It was isolation. Don't worry about the basement, I said. Grandpa's got some thinking to do first. After the kids went home Sunday evening, I overheard Lisa and Miguel in their bedroom. Their voices carried through the thin walls Lisa thought provided privacy. The Hendricks account dropped us, Miguel said. That's 3 this month. My listings aren't moving either, Lisa replied. Market's brutal right now. We can't afford to lose Dad's contribution, not with the mortgage payment and... Their voices dropped, but I'd heard enough. They weren't helping me out of generosity. They needed my Social Security check to keep afloat. Monday morning brought Lisa's friend Margaret for coffee. I served them in the living room, invisible as always. How's the arrangement with your father working out? Margaret asked. Honestly, it's been a godsend. Lisa stirred her coffee. Dad's handy with repairs, great with the kids, and his monthly contribution covers a big chunk of our fixed expenses. Smart. My mother's in assisted living, $1,500 a month, and she's miserable. Dad's only paying $1,400, and he gets family home cooked meals, help with everything. $1,400 versus $1,500. I was saving a whopping $100 a month to live in someone else's house and work for free. Plus, Lisa continued, when he moves to the basement apartment, we can convert his room to Miguel's home office. Tax write-off. Tax write-off. Even my displacement was a business opportunity. Tuesday brought the breaking point I'd been dreading. Sophia had stayed overnight, some school event Lisa couldn't attend. I was helping her with math homework when she asked the question that shattered my heart. Grandpa, did I do something wrong? What do you mean, sweetheart? Mommy said I can't come visit as much anymore. That you need space to transition to your new apartment. Her eyes filled with tears. Did I make you sad? I pulled her into my lap, this little girl who thought she'd driven her grandfather away. Sophia, listen to me. You and Diego are the best part of my day. You didn't do anything wrong. Not ever. Then why can't I see you? How do you explain to an 8-year-old that her mother is using her as leverage? That scheduled visits are about control, not care? Grown-ups sometimes make decisions that don't make sense, I said. But I promise you, this nothing will ever stop me from loving you and your brother. She hugged me tight. I love you too, Grandpa. Even if you have to live in the scary basement. That night I called my old foreman buddy, Bill Hartman. We'd worked together for 20 years before he retired to Arizona. Frank, how you holding up with the family situation? Honestly, Bill, I'm starting to think Helen saw this coming. She was a smart woman. What's going on? I told him about the monthly payments, the basement plan, the isolation from my grandchildren. Bill listened without interrupting. Jesus, Frank. They're treating you like a tenant. Worse, tenants have rights. What are you going to do? Still figuring that out. I looked at my lottery ticket tucked behind Helen's photo, but something's got to give. The next morning, Miguel cornered me in the garage. His usual financial advisor confidence was shaky around the edges. Frank, I wanted to discuss the basement timeline. We're hoping to expedite construction. Why the rush? His laugh was forced. Just eager to get you settled in your new space. But I could see the stress lines around his eyes, the way his hands shook slightly. Man was scared about something. Probably those lost clients Lisa mentioned. Miguel, can I ask you something? Sure. When you married Lisa, did you plan on having her old man move in? His face went red. It's not like that, Frank. Your family. Family that pays rent. It's not rent, it's contribution to shared expenses? At market rates. Frank, I'm trying to help you understand. Understand what that you need my check to make your mortgage. The garage went quiet, except for the hum of their fancy refrigerator. That's not fair, Miguel said finally. Fair? You want to talk about fair? I stood up from my workbench. Fair is being treated like family, not a revenue stream. Fair is not having my time with my grandchildren scheduled like business appointments. Miguel backed toward the door. You're upset. I get it. Change is hard at your age. At my age, like being 67 made me too stupid to see what was happening. Miguel, I've been managing change since before you were born. Built a business, raised a family, survived a war and a recession, and losing the love of my life. Don't talk to me about change being hard. He left without another word. That evening, Lisa tried a different approach. She knocked on my door around 9, looking like the little girl who used to ask me to check for monsters in her closet. Dad, can we talk? She sat on my bed, same spot where she used to curl up during thunderstorms. Miguel said you two had words. We had a conversation. Dad, I know this isn't ideal, the living arrangement, the basement plan, but we're doing the best we can. Looking at her face, I saw flashes of the daughter I'd raised, the one who cried when her hamster died, who made me Father's Day cards with crooked letters. Lisa, what happened to us? She was quiet for a long moment. Mom died, and everything got complicated. Your mother's death didn't make you start charging me rent. It's not just rent, Dad. We're struggling too. Miguel's lost half his clients this year. My real estate commissions are down 70%. The mortgage, the car payments, Sophia's piano lessons, Diego's soccer. Her voice cracked. We're drowning. For a second, I almost felt sorry for them. Almost. So you decided to throw your old man a life preserver made of concrete? That's not what we're doing. Then what are you doing, Lisa? Because from where I sit, it looks like you're using my grief and loneliness to solve your financial problems. She stood up, the vulnerable daughter disappearing behind the real estate agent mask. Dad, you're being dramatic. We've given you a home family purpose. Purpose. My purpose is to subsidize your lifestyle while you plan to stick me in the basement. The basement apartment is for your independence. Independence, with no car access and supervised visitation with my own grandchildren. She left without answering, slamming the door hard enough to rattle Helen's photo on my nightstand. Friday morning, walking to Murphy's Corner store, I felt something shift inside me. Past the Henderson place, the Martinez house, all these homes I'd built with pride and craftsmanship. My own family saw me as a problem to be managed, not a man to be respected. "Same numbers, Mr. Thompson?" Jimmy asked. "Same numbers." I tucked the ticket away carefully. "Jimmy, you ever feel like you're invisible in your own life?" "Sometimes. Why? Just wondering if it gets better." He studied my face. "Mr. Thompson, you built half this town. That counts for something." Walking home, I passed Lisa on her phone. "Dad's getting more difficult. The basement move might need to happen sooner than planned." I stood there listening to my daughter discuss my future like a business problem lottery ticket, burning a hole in my wallet. That night I made a decision. Win or lose, I was done being Franklin Thompson, the inconvenient old man who paid rent to live in his daughter's shadow. It was time to remember who Frank Thompson really was. Monday morning arrived with the sound of heavy boots on the front porch. 7:30 a.m., sharp 3 contractors ready to turn their basement into my independence apartment. Lisa greeted them like they were delivering Christmas morning instead of my exile papers. "Gentlemen, welcome. This is such an exciting project for our family." The lead contractor was Tom Reeves, a weathered guy who looked like he'd spent decades doing honest work. When he shook my hand, his grip had that familiar strength of a man who'd built things that lasted. "Mr. Thompson, I understand this apartment is for you." "That's what I'm told." Tom studied the basement plans, frowning. "Ma'am," he said to Lisa, "I have to be honest, this setup is pretty basic for senior living. Concrete floors, 1 small window, no emergency exit." "We're keeping costs reasonable," Lisa replied quickly. "Dad values practicality over luxury." Practicality, Helen's least favorite word. "Sir," Tom said quietly while Lisa talked to his crew, "have you considered other options? This basement conversion isn't ideal for someone your age." Before I could answer, Lisa was back with her brightest realtor smile. "Dad loves the idea of his own space. Complete independence. Independence in a basement, with one way out." That afternoon, Sophia and Diego came by after school. I was in the garage organizing tools that would soon be stored elsewhere when Sophia appeared at my elbow. "Grandpa, are you really moving to the basement?" "That's the plan." "But basements are where scary things live." Her voice was small. "Spiders and monsters and..." Diego joined us, serious for a 10-year-old. "Mom said you wanted your own apartment, but you seem sad about it." These kids saw what their parents refused to acknowledge, that burying an old man in a basement wasn't independence, it was abandonment. "Can we help you move your tools?" Diego asked. "Tools have to be stored, buddy. No room in the basement apartment." Sophia's eyes widened. "No tools, but you're a builder. Builders need tools. Not retired builders." "But you're not retired from being our grandpa," she said with 8-year-old logic that cut straight to the truth. I knelt down to their level. "Listen to me, both of you. No matter where Grandpa lives, no matter what changes happen, I will always be your grandpa. That's a promise." They hugged me tight, and I wondered if it was the last time I'd get to hold them without asking permission first. That evening, I was boxing up Helen's things when I found something that stopped me cold, a sealed envelope with my name in her handwriting hidden behind our wedding photo. "Franklin," it read. "If you're reading this, then what I feared most has happened. David Richardson has instructions to help you. Don't let them take advantage of your kindness. You're stronger than you know. Fight back. All my love, Helen." My hands shook as I read it again. Helen had seen this coming. The next morning, I called David Richardson, the lawyer, who'd handled our wills. At 72, David was semi-retired, but still sharp as a tack. "Franklin, I was wondering when you'd call. Helen left me a letter. She was worried about your situation after she passed. Asked me to keep an eye on things." His voice was gentle. "How are you holding up?" I told him about the living arrangement, the basement plan, the monthly payments. David listened without interrupting, occasionally making notes. "Franklin, would you mind if I looked into Lisa and Miguel's financial situation? Helen authorized a complete background investigation if circumstances warranted. She did what? Your wife was a smart woman. She hired a private investigator 6 months before she died. Suspected Lisa and Miguel were having money troubles and might try to take advantage of your situation. Helen, still protecting me from beyond the grave." Wednesday brought the real betrayal. I was at the grocery store when I ran into Martha Henderson Helen, and I had been friends with her and Jim for 20 years. "Frank, how are you adjusting to living with Lisa?" "Getting by." Her smile was sympathetic. "Lisa told Margaret you're paying fair market rent for room and board, $1,400 a month, right? That's actually quite reasonable for full-service senior care." Full-service senior care. Lisa was telling people I was in assisted living. "Margaret mentioned Lisa's handling all your financial affairs now, too. Such a responsible daughter, making sure you don't get taken advantage of by strangers." Financial affairs. "What financial affairs? Martha, Lisa doesn't handle my money." Her face went confused. "Oh, but she said, I mean, at your age, it's smart to have family help with complex finances." I drove home with my hands shaking on the steering wheel. Lisa wasn't just charging me rent, she was telling the community I was incompetent, setting up a narrative where she was the saint caring for her declining father. That evening, Miguel approached me in my room. His usual confident demeanor was cracking around the edges. "Frank, we need to discuss some practical matters, such as your debit card. For security purposes, we think it's best if your account access goes through us, just temporary until you're settled in the basement." "My debit card. Lisa and I can handle your expenses. Groceries, medications, anything you need. It's safer this way." "Safer for who?" Miguel's laugh was forced. "Frank, you're taking this wrong. We're trying to protect you. From what? Identity theft, financial scams, overspending on a fixed income. Miguel, I managed money for 67 years. Bought a house, raised a family, saved for retirement. What exactly makes you think I've suddenly become incompetent?" "It's not about incompetence. It's about simplification. Making your life easier." They wanted my debit card, control over my money, complete financial dependence. "I'll think about it," I said. "Actually, Frank, we've already arranged it with the bank, for your protection." The room went quiet except for the sound of my heart hammering. "You already what?" "Your new account setup requires dual approval for transactions over $50. Just a safety measure." $50. They'd reduced a grown man to an allowance. "Get out of my room. Frank, get out, now." After he left, I sat on my bed holding Helen's letter, understanding finally what she'd been trying to protect me from. Not just financial exploitation, complete control of my life. Thursday morning brought Tom Reeves back with his crew. The basement demolition was starting, and the sound of sledgehammers echoed through the house like a countdown to my imprisonment. I found Tom during his lunch break sitting in his truck. "Mr. Thompson, how you holding up?" "Tom, can I ask you something off the record?" "Sure." "What's this basement conversion really costing?" He looked uncomfortable. "Sir, I probably shouldn't." "Tom, I'm not asking you to betray anyone's confidence. I'm asking one contractor to another, what's the real number?" He was quiet for a moment. 8,000. Maybe 8.5 with the electrical work. "What did Lisa tell me it was costing?" "You'd have to ask her that." She said 15,000. Tom's face went red. Sir, that's between you and your daughter. Tom, in your professional opinion, is this basement suitable for an elderly person? Honestly, no concrete floors, inadequate ventilation, no emergency egress. I told your daughter, but she said to keep costs down. He looked at me directly. Mr. Thompson, if this was my dad, I'd find him a nice senior community. This basement, it's not right. That evening, I called David Richardson. Franklin, I was about to call you. The investigation is complete. And they're in serious trouble, 47,000 in credit card debt, mortgage underwater. Miguel's lost most of his clients. Lisa's real estate business is failing. So they need my money. They need it to survive. Without your monthly payment, they'll lose the house within 6 months. Everything clicked into place. The urgent basement conversion wasn't about my independence. It was about securing my monthly payment while isolating me from anyone who might object to their arrangement. David, there's something else. They've taken control of my bank account. The silence on the other end was heavy. Franklin, that might constitute financial elder abuse. What can I do? Several things. But first you need to know Helen established a $500,000 trust fund for exactly this situation. She wanted you to have resources if Lisa and Miguel tried to exploit you. $500,000. Helen had been preparing for this battle while fighting cancer. What do I do now? Now we fight back. But Franklin, this is going to get ugly. Are you ready for that? Looking at my lottery ticket tucked behind Helen's photo, I felt something steel hard settle in my chest. My wife had died trying to protect me. My grandchildren were being used as weapons against me. My own daughter was spreading lies about my competence while stealing my independence piece by piece. David, I've been ready for this fight longer than I realized. Friday night, December 15th, I sat in my room, soon to be Miguel's home office, watching the lottery drawing on my small TV. Same numbers I'd played for 32 years, same quiet hope that maybe this time would be different. The numbers rolled. 7, 14, 23, 31, 45, Powerball, 18, my numbers, all of them. $53 million. For the first time in 2 years, I smiled. Because sometimes when you've been pushed as far as you can go, the universe decides to push back. I stared at that lottery ticket until the numbers blurred together. 7, 14, 23, 31, 45, Powerball, 18. After 32 years, Helen's numbers had finally come home. $53 million. My first instinct was to run downstairs, bang on Lisa and Miguel's door, share the incredible news, celebrate like families should. Then I remembered where I was sitting in their house paying rent while they planned my basement exile and controlled my bank account. Maybe I should keep this to myself for a while. I slipped the ticket back into my wallet right next to Helen's letter. Helen, I whispered to her photo, I think you're still looking out for me. Sleep was impossible. I lay in the dark thinking about David Richardson's investigation. Tom's warning about the basement Sophia, asking why families charge each other money. By dawn, I had the beginning of a plan. Saturday morning brought Lisa and Miguel's usual weekend chaos. She was showing houses to clients. He had a golf game, then some investment meeting in Fresno, probably trying to salvage what was left of his business. Dad, can you watch Sophia and Diego today? Lisa asked, already dressed for success, despite her failing real estate career. Of course, I said. Same as always. But this time I was thinking, this might be the last time you can just assume I'm available. The kids arrived around 10, energy and weekend excitement filling the house. Diego wanted to show me his latest skateboard trick. Sophia had drawn me a picture of our family stick figures, standing in front of a house, all smiling, except for the one labeled Grandpa. Why does Grandpa look sad in your picture? I asked. She shrugged with 8-year-old honesty. Because you are sad, Grandpa. Everyone can see it except Mommy and Daddy? Smart kid. Too smart. What would make Grandpa happy again? I asked. Not living in the basement? Diego said immediately. And getting to see us whenever we want, not just when Mommy says it's okay. And having your tools back? Sophia added. Builders need tools. We spent the morning in the garage, me teaching Diego how to sand wood properly, while Sophia organized my hardware by size. For the first time in months, I felt like myself again. Frank Thompson craftsman and grandfather. Not just the old man who paid rent. Grandpa, Sophia said, holding up a small piece of sandpaper. When you move to the basement, can we still do projects together? Looking at her hopeful face, I made another decision. Sophia, how would you and Diego feel about visiting Grandpa in his own house sometime? You're getting your own house? Diego's eyes went wide. Maybe. Would you like that? They both nodded enthusiastically, and I realized these kids had been waiting for their grandfather to find his backbone again. Around noon, the basement contractors showed up to continue demolition. The sound of sledgehammers echoed through the house like a countdown to my supposed independence. I found Tom Reeves during his lunch break sitting in his truck. How's the work going, Tom? Honestly, Mr. Thompson, this basement setup bothers me. No emergency exit concrete floors, minimal ventilation. It's not suitable for someone your age. What would you do if this was your father? I'd find him a nice senior community with proper safety features and social activities. He looked at me directly. Sir, this basement apartment isn't independence. It's isolation. I nodded, understanding something Tom didn't, that isolation was exactly the point. Keep Frank out of sight, away from neighbors who might ask uncomfortable questions about why a respected contractor was paying rent to his own daughter. That evening, Lisa and Miguel returned from their respective activities, stress lines deeper around their eyes. Miguel's investment meeting hadn't gone well. I could tell from the way he avoided eye contact and went straight to his home office. Lisa found me reading in the living room Helen's letter tucked inside my book. Dad, we need to discuss the timeline for your move. What about it? The contractors say the basement will be ready by the end of January. We're hoping you can move down there as soon as possible. Why the rush? Her real estate smile flickered. Not a rush, just eager to get you settled in your new space. But I could see the desperation underneath. They needed my room converted to Miguel's office, needed the tax write-off, needed me contained and controlled before anyone started asking questions about their financial arrangement. Lisa, can I ask you something? Sure, Dad. When you were 8 years old and asked me to build you that dollhouse, do you remember what I told you? She looked confused. Not really. I told you that building something for someone you love isn't work, it's joy. That's why I spent 3 weeks in the garage making sure every tiny door opened and every little window had real glass. Her face softened slightly. I remember the dollhouse. I loved it. Do you remember what you said when I gave it to you? No. You said, Daddy, when I grow up and have my own family, I want to take care of you the same way you took care of me. I closed my book, Helen's letter, safely hidden inside. I've been wondering what happened to that little girl. Lisa's realtor mask slipped entirely. For a moment, I saw my daughter tired, scared, drowning in debt and bad decisions. Dad, everything's different now. Mom's gone, money's tight. Life is complicated. Life was complicated when you were 8 too. I was working 3 jobs to make ends meet. Your mother was sick with pneumonia, and we almost lost the house. But we didn't solve our problems by charging family members rent. That's not fair. You don't understand the pressure we're under. I understand pressure, Lisa. What I don't understand is when you decided I became part of the problem instead of part of the family. Bokam vai. She left without another word, but I caught her wiping her eyes in the hallway. Sunday morning, I walked through the neighborhood I'd helped build past houses where families lived with dignity and respect. Bill Hartman was visiting from Arizona, staying with his son down the street. We talked for a few minutes about old times, mutual friends, the good years when Thompson Construction meant something in this town. "Frank, I heard you're living with Lisa now," he said carefully. "Temporarily. How's that working out?" I looked at this man who'd worked beside me for 20 years, who'd trusted my judgment on million-dollar projects, who still saw me as Frank Thompson, the contractor, instead of Frank Thompson, the dependent old man. "Bill, what would you say if I told you I was thinking about making some changes?" "I'd say it's about damn time. You've been looking like a ghost of yourself lately." At St. Michael's, I sat in the pew Helen and I had shared for 20 years. Pastor Rodriguez was preaching about patience and justice, about waiting for God's timing, but being ready to act when the moment came. "Sometimes," he said, "we have to endure seasons of testing before we receive our blessings. But when those blessings come, we must have the courage to use them wisely." After service, I stopped by Helen's grave. The December air was cold, but I needed this conversation. "Helen, I found your letter. The trust fund, the investigation, you were still protecting me, even while you were dying." I pulled out my lottery ticket, looking at those familiar numbers in the winter sunlight. "I think you'd approve of what I'm planning to do next." The wind rustled through the oak trees she'd loved, and for a moment I felt her presence as clearly as if she were standing beside me. Sunday dinner was tense. Miguel had spent the afternoon on work calls trying to salvage his failing business. Lisa had shown 3 houses without a single offer. The financial pressure in that house was thick enough to cut with a knife. "Dad," Miguel said over dessert, "we wanted to discuss the bank account situation. What about it? The new security measures are working well. No unauthorized transactions, better oversight of your expenses." "Unauthorized transactions, like buying groceries or paying for my own clothes." "Frank, we're trying to protect you from financial mistakes." "What mistakes? In 67 years, I've never bounced a check, never been late on a payment, never filed bankruptcy. What exactly makes you think I've suddenly become incompetent?" Lisa jumped in. "Dad, it's not about competence. It's about simplification, making your life easier." "Easier for who?" The question hung in the air like smoke. That evening, Sophia called to say goodnight. Lisa's new rule was that all grandparent communication had to be scheduled and supervised. "Grandpa, Mommy said you might be moving to your basement apartment soon." "That's what they're planning, sweetheart." "Will you be happy there?" Looking out my window at the neighborhood I'd helped build, holding a lottery ticket worth more money than I could spend in 3 lifetimes, I realized I was about to find out just how happy a man could be when he finally stopped letting other people control his life. "Sophia, Grandpa's going to be just fine, better than fine. Promise. I promise." Monday morning, I woke up before dawn with crystal clear purpose. Today I would call David Richardson and set everything in motion. Today I would stop being Frank Thompson the victim and become Frank Thompson, the man who built half of Bakersfield with his own 2 hands. But first, I had to give Lisa and Miguel one final chance to do the right thing. Not because I expected them to take it, but because I wanted to look myself in the mirror afterward and know I'd tried. The lottery ticket felt warm in my wallet, like it was alive. $53 million and a dead wife's determination to see justice done. Sometimes the universe doesn't just give you what you need. Sometimes it gives you exactly what you deserve. Tuesday morning, I called David Richardson from Murphy's Corner store using the payphone outside so Lisa and Miguel couldn't monitor the conversation. "Franklin, I was expecting your call. Ready to discuss our options? More than ready? Can you meet me somewhere private? How about my office at 10? I'll clear my schedule." David's law office felt like a sanctuary mahogany desk, leather chairs, walls lined with law books. The kind of place where justice lived, not just survived. Franklin, I've completed Helen's investigation. The picture isn't pretty. He opened a thick file. Lisa and Miguel weren't just struggling, they were drowning. Credit cards, maxed out mortgage, 3 months behind Miguel's investment license, under review for client complaints. Your monthly payment isn't helping them, Franklin. It's keeping them afloat. Without it, they'll lose everything within 90 days. So, the basement apartment is about control. Keep you isolated, dependent, unable to seek alternatives. David leaned back in his chair. Helen saw this coming. She wanted you armed for this fight. I pulled out my lottery ticket, placing it on his desk like a royal flush. David stared at the numbers, then at me. Franklin, is this what I think it is? December 15th, drawing, $53 million. His face went through several expressions before settling on something like awe. Helen would be proud. What do you want to do? I want to give Lisa and Miguel one chance to do the right thing. Not because they deserve it, but because I want to sleep at night knowing I tried. And if they don't take it, I thought about Sophia's drawing, Diego asking why families charge money, Helen's letter warning me to fight back. Then we show Bakersfield who Frank Thompson really is. When I returned home around noon, Miguel was pacing the kitchen phone pressed to his ear. His voice carried that desperate edge of a man watching his world collapse. No, I understand the margin call, but if you could just give me until Friday? Yes, I know what happens if I can't cover it. He hung up, saw me, and tried to paste on his financial advisor smile. Frank, how was your morning? Educational. Miguel, we need to talk. Lisa appeared from her home office, stress lines carved deep around her eyes. Dad, perfect timing. We need to discuss moving your things to the basement. The contractors say it'll be ready tomorrow. I looked at these two people I'd called family for the past 2 years, drowning in debt, desperately clinging to my monthly payment like a life raft, planning to bury me in their basement to keep their secrets safe. Before we discuss the basement, there's something you both should know. I pulled out my lottery ticket, placing it on their granite countertop. I won the lottery Friday night. The silence that followed was absolute. Miguel reached for the ticket with shaking hands, checking the numbers on his phone. Lisa collapsed into a chair like someone had cut her strings. $53 million, Miguel whispered. Lisa's realtor training kicked in first. Dad, this is incredible. This changes everything for our family. Our family. Interesting choice of words. How does my lottery ticket change things for you? I asked quietly. Well, we're family. This affects all of us. Her voice had that bright, desperate quality she used with difficult clients. We'll need to set up trusts, tax planning, investment strategies. Miguel found his voice. Frank, you'll need professional guidance. Lottery winners often make terrible financial mistakes. Money, like the mistake of trusting family with their money? The kitchen went quiet, except for the hum of their expensive refrigerator, the one my monthly payments helped them afford. Dad, what's that supposed to mean? Lisa asked. It means I've been watching you two struggle with debt for months while charging me rent. It means you've controlled my bank account, isolated me from my grandchildren, and planned to stick me in your basement. And now you're salivating over money that isn't yours. Miguel stepped forward, switching to full financial advisor mode. Frank, you're emotional right now. This is a lot to process. But family takes care of family, and we're here to help you manage this responsibly. The way you've managed your own finances? His face went red. That's not fair. Fair? You want to discuss fair? I stood up from the kitchen table. Fair is being treated like family, not a revenue stream. Fair is my grandchildren visiting whenever they want, not when you schedule it. Fair is keeping my own bank account at 67 years old. Lisa tried a different approach, the vulnerable daughter instead of the desperate businesswoman. Dad, we love you. Yes, money's been tight, and maybe we've made some mistakes, but we're family. We stick together. Family sticks together by exploiting each other. We're not exploiting you. I pulled out David Richardson's investigation, placing it beside the lottery ticket. $47,000 in credit card debt, mortgage 3 months behind, Miguel's business failing, and my monthly payment covering 85% of your essential expenses. Miguel grabbed the papers, Lisa reading over his shoulder. Watching their faces change as they absorbed the numbers was almost worth 2 years of humiliation. How did you get this? Lisa whispered. Your mother hired a private investigator before she died. She saw this coming and prepared accordingly. Mom did what? She also established a $500,000 trust fund to protect me from exactly this situation. The color drained from both their faces. Dad, we can work this out, Lisa said desperately. Family counseling, financial planning, a fresh start for all of us. Lisa, do you remember what you said when I gave you that dollhouse? Her face crumpled slightly. Dad, please. You said when you grew up you wanted to take care of me the same way I took care of you. I've been wondering, is this how you wanted to take care of me? Charging rent and planning my exile to the basement? Miguel tried to regain control of the conversation. Frank, emotions are running high. Let's take a step back and discuss this rationally. We should call our lawyer, set up family meetings, create a plan that benefits everyone. I've already called my lawyer. When? This morning. David Richardson has been Helen's attorney for 20 years. He's prepared several options for handling this situation. The panic in their eyes was unmistakable. They were losing control of their golden goose, and they knew it. What kind of options? Lisa asked carefully. That depends on what happens next. I picked up my lottery ticket and Helen's investigation, leaving them sitting in their granite kitchen with the weight of their choices. I'll be in my room until tomorrow, apparently, if you want to discuss how we move forward. That evening, Sophia called for her scheduled goodnight conversation, supervised as always by Lisa. Grandpa, Mommy seems upset about something. Are you okay? Grandpa's fine, sweetheart. Better than fine, actually. Really? You sound different. Happier. Smart girl. Sometimes things change in ways that make everything better. Do you trust your grandpa? Of course. Then trust me when I say that very soon we'll be able to spend time together whenever we want. No more scheduled visits. Promise. Looking at the lottery ticket in my wallet, thinking about Helen's trust fund and David Richardson's legal strategy, I felt something I hadn't experienced in 2 years, complete confidence in my ability to protect the people I loved. I promise, Sophia, everything's about to change. After she hung up, I heard Lisa and Miguel arguing in their bedroom. Voices raised, stress fracturing whatever unity they'd maintained during their exploitation scheme. We can't lose his monthly payment, Miguel was saying. The margin calls alone will bankrupt us. Then we figure out how to make this lottery thing work for everyone, Lisa replied. He's still our father. He still needs us. Still needs them. Even with $53 million and Helen's protection fund, they thought I needed them. I pulled out Helen's letter, reading it again by lamplight. Don't let them take advantage of your kindness. You're stronger than you know. Fight back. Tomorrow I would claim the lottery officially. Tomorrow the community would learn the truth about how Lisa and Miguel treated their family. Tomorrow Frank Thompson would stop being a victim and start being the man Helen married. But tonight I sat in my room, looking at photos of Sophia and Diego, knowing that everything I was about to do was for them. So they'd grow up understanding that love doesn't have a price tag, that family means protection, not exploitation, that their grandfather was strong enough to fight for what mattered most. The tables were turning, and Lisa and Miguel were about to learn that Frank Thompson hadn't survived 67 years by being anyone's fool. Wednesday morning, I drove to Sacramento with David Richardson to officially claim my lottery prize. Lisa and Miguel had spent the night in frantic whispered conversations, but I'd made my choice. No more victim. No more convenient old man paying rent to live in someone else's shadow. "Franklin, are you sure about the public ceremony?" David asked as we pulled into the California State Lottery headquarters parking lot. "Once this goes public, there's no taking it back. David, they've spent 2 years telling the community I need managing. Time for Bakersfield to hear my side of the story." The lottery officials were professional and efficient. Paperwork verification tax discussions. I chose the annuity option $2.1 million annually for 25 years. More money than I could spend in 3 lifetimes, and enough to ensure Sophia and Diego's futures regardless of what their parents decided to do next. "Mr. Thompson," the lottery director said, shaking my hand for the photographers, "congratulations on your life-changing win. Any plans for the money?" "Just one," I replied, looking directly into the Channel 7 camera. "I'm buying my independence back. Vous comprenez?" The drive home gave me time to think. By now, Lisa and Miguel would be researching family trust laws, probably calling lawyers, definitely panicking about losing their primary income source. When I walked through their front door, I found them waiting in the living room, like an intervention committee. "Dad, we've been thinking about yesterday's conversation," Lisa began with her brightest realtor smile. "Maybe we were too focused on the financial aspects. This lottery win is really about family opportunities." "What kind of opportunities?" Miguel jumped in back in financial advisor mode. "College funds for Sophia and Diego, a trust structure that benefits everyone. Maybe a bigger house where we all have more space." All. There was that word again. Miguel, who said anything about "we all," his confident facade cracked slightly. "Well, family decisions affect the whole family. And frankly, Frank managing $53 million is complex. You'll need professional guidance, tax planning, investment strategies from someone whose investment license is under review." The room went quiet. "Dad, how did you know about that?" Lisa asked. "Helen's investigation was thorough." I pulled out another document from David's file. "Client complaints, regulatory review, professional sanctions pending. This is who you want managing my money." Miguel's face went red. "Those complaints are baseless, disgruntled clients looking for scapegoats, like Mrs. Patterson, who lost her retirement savings following your advice, or the Hendricks, who are considering a lawsuit. Frank, you don't understand the investment business." "I understand math. I understand that people who can't manage their own money probably shouldn't manage other people's." Lisa tried a different approach. "Dad, forget Miguel's business for a minute. This is about family, about taking care of each other. Why, the way you've been taking care of me. We've given you a home support, help with everything. Lisa, you've charged me rent to live in your guest room while planning to move me to the basement. That's not taking care of family. That's running a boarding house." She stood up, pacing like she did when a real estate deal was falling apart. "Dad, you're being unfair. We've provided you with housing, meals, companionship at market rates, plus free labor. That's not how we see it." "How do you see it?" Miguel answered. "We see it as family helping family through a difficult transition." I looked at these two people who'd systematically isolated me from my grandchildren, controlled my finances, and planned my basement exile. "Miguel, what's difficult about my transition?" "Well, your age, Helen's death. The adjustment to dependent living. Dependent living. Frank, you have to admit, at 67 living, independently becomes challenging. I'm not dependent. I'm paying you $1,400 a month while doing your home repairs and childcare. That's not dependence, that's being taken advantage of." Lisa's phone rang. She glanced at the caller ID and her face went pale. "It's the mortgage company." Answer it, I said. Dad, this isn't the time. Answer it. Let's see how independent you two really are. She took the call in the kitchen, but her voice carried. Yes, I understand we're behind. No, the payment will be there Friday. My father just won the lottery, so our situation is changing. My father just won the lottery. Not my father needs to consider his options. Or my father is evaluating possibilities. Just the assumption that my windfall solved their problems. Miguel tried damage control. Frank, Lisa's stressed. She didn't mean it the way it sounded. How did she mean it? She meant, we're family, and families support each other during financial difficulties. The way you supported me during my grief over Helen. He had no answer for that. That afternoon, I drove to St. Michael's. Pastor Rodriguez was in his office preparing Sunday's sermon. Franklin, I heard congratulations are in order. $53 million, that's quite a blessing. Pastor, can I ask you something? What's the difference between helping family and enabling family? He leaned back in his chair, studying my face. That's a complex question. Why do you ask? I told him about the living arrangement, the monthly payments, the basement plan. Pastor Rodriguez listened without interrupting, occasionally nodding. Franklin, in my experience, healthy family relationships involve mutual respect and genuine care for each other's well-being. When family becomes transactional, when love gets measured in dollars, that's usually a sign something's broken. What would you do in my situation? I'd pray for wisdom, and I'd remember that enabling someone's poor choices isn't the same as loving them. Walking to my truck, I found Tom Reeves finishing his crew's work on the basement conversion. Mr. Thompson, I wanted to talk to you. Your daughter said the project's on hold. Indefinitely. Honestly, sir, I'm glad. This setup wasn't right for someone your age. He looked around to make sure Lisa wasn't listening. Mr. Thompson, I've been in construction 30 years. I know what a proper living space looks like. This basement, it felt like they were trying to hide you away. Tom, in your professional opinion, what would someone pay for this basement apartment on the open market? Maybe $600-700 a month. And that's being generous given the safety issues. $700. Lisa had been planning to charge me double market rate for substandard housing. That evening, Sophia and Diego came for what Lisa called a supervised visit. Apparently, unsupervised time with their grandfather was now too risky. Grandpa, Mommy says you're rich now, Sophia said, climbing onto my lap. Money doesn't make someone rich, sweetheart. Family makes someone rich. Then why does Mommy seem so worried if money doesn't matter? 8-year-old logic, cutting straight to the heart of things. Diego joined us on the couch. Grandpa, are you still moving to the basement? No, buddy. Grandpa's making other plans? Good. I never liked the basement idea. He was quiet for a moment. Are you going to move far away? Looking at their worried faces, I made them a promise. Sophia Diego listened to me carefully. No matter where Grandpa lives, no matter what changes happen, you will always be the most important thing in my life. And we will always find ways to spend time together. Even if Mommy says no, Sophia asked, especially then. After they left, I found Lisa and Miguel in their bedroom door, ajar, voices carrying. We have to make this work, Miguel was saying. The margin calls alone will destroy us without his monthly payment. Then we convince him the basement apartment is still the best option. Keep him close, keep him dependent, keep him contributing to household expenses. What if he refuses? Then we explore other options. Competency hearings, power of attorney, medical necessity. He's 67, recently widowed, clearly overwhelmed by sudden wealth. Any judge would see he needs family oversight. Competency hearings. They were planning to have me declared mentally incompetent to control my own money. I called David Richardson from my room. Franklin, how did the lottery ceremony go? Fine, but we need to accelerate our timeline. They're discussing competency hearings. The silence on David's end was heavy. That's legally actionable elder abuse, Franklin. We can file charges. No charges, but I want legal protection in place immediately. Consider it done. I'll have the papers ready by morning. David, there's something else. I want to call a family meeting tomorrow night. I'm giving them one final chance to do the right thing. And if they don't take it, I thought about Helen's letter. Sophia's worried questions, the basement apartment designed to hide me away from anyone who might ask uncomfortable questions about my treatment. Then Friday morning we hold a press conference and let Bakersfield decide for themselves whether Frank Thompson needs managing. Thursday morning brought legal documents establishing my complete mental competency, financial independence, and explicit denial of power of attorney to any family member. David had worked through the night to create an unbreachable firewall around my rights. Lisa and Miguel read the papers over coffee, their faces growing paler with each page. "Dad, this seems extreme," Lisa said finally. "What's extreme about protecting myself from people who want to have me declared incompetent?" Miguel tried professional outrage. "Frank, we never said anything about competency." "Miguel, your conversation last night was quite clear. Competency hearings, power of attorney, medical necessity. Should I call David Richardson and have him explain what those terms mean legally?" The kitchen went quiet except for the hum of their expensive appliances, the ones my monthly payments helped them afford. "Tonight," I said, standing up from their granite counter, 7 o'clock. "We're going to discuss how this family moves forward. All of us, including Sophia and Diego." "The kids don't need to be involved in adult business," Lisa protested. "Lisa, they're already involved. You've been using them as leverage against me for months. Time they understood what's really been happening in their family." That evening we gathered in their living room, Lisa, Miguel, Sophia, Diego, and me. The children sensed the tension sitting close together on the couch. "Kids," I said gently, "Grandpa wants to explain some things that have been happening and some changes that are coming." I kept it simple, age appropriate, but honest. How sometimes families make mistakes about money and respect. How Grandpa had been sad because he missed being independent. How winning the lottery meant Grandpa could have his own house again, where Sophia and Diego could visit whenever they wanted. "You mean no more scheduled visits?" Sophia asked hopefully. "No more schedules, sweetheart." Diego looked at his parents, then back at me. "Will Mommy and Daddy be sad if you move away?" "That's up to them, buddy." Lisa tried one last manipulation. "Dad, what about family unity? What about staying together through difficult times?" I looked at my daughter, this woman I'd raised with love and values, who turned my grief into her business opportunity. Lisa, family unity doesn't come from charging each other rent or planning to stick elderly relatives in basements. It comes from love, respect, and genuine care for each other's well-being. "We do care about your well-being?" "Then prove it. Tomorrow morning, I'm holding a press conference to claim my lottery prize publicly. I'm going to tell Bakersfield the truth about how you've treated me for the past 2 years. You have tonight to decide whether you want to be part of the solution or part of the problem." The room fell silent. Sophia and Diego looked between their parents and their grandfather, sensing something momentous was happening, but not understanding exactly what. Finally, Miguel spoke. "What would being part of the solution look like?" I thought about Helen's letter about Tom's concerns over the basement apartment, about 2 years of systematic humiliation disguised as family care. "Miguel, it would look like treating me like Franklin Thompson, respected member of this community, instead of Frank, the convenient old man who pays your bills. It would look like my grandchildren visiting whenever they want, not when it fits your schedule. It would look like genuine family relationships instead of business transactions." "And if we can't agree to those terms," Lisa asked, "then tomorrow Bakersfield learns exactly what kind of daughter I raised." Friday morning dawned clear and cold. I dressed carefully in my best navy suit, the one Helen had helped me pick for our 40th anniversary. Today, Frank Thompson was going to tell Bakersfield the truth about family dignity and what happens when love gets measured in dollars. Lisa and Miguel had given me their answer at dawn silence. No apology, no acknowledgement, no change. Just the desperate hope that I'd back down rather than air our family's dirty laundry in public. They were about to learn they'd miscalculated badly. David Richardson met me at the Kern County Courthouse steps at 10 a.m. The media turnout was bigger than expected. Channel 7, the Bakersfield, Californian 3 radio stations, and a growing crowd of curious onlookers. "Franklin, last chance to reconsider," David said quietly. "Once you do this, there's no going back." I thought about Sophia asking why families charge each other money, about Diego calling the basement scary, about Helen's letter warning me to fight back, about 2 years of being treated like a revenue stream instead of a human being. "David, I've been going backwards for 2 years. It's time to move forward." The press conference was simple and devastating. I approached the microphone with the same steady confidence I'd once brought to construction sites, looking directly into the Channel 7 camera. "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. I'm Franklin Thompson, and I won $53 million in last week's lottery. But I'm not here to talk about vacation plans or new cars. I'm here to talk about family." The reporters leaned forward, sensing something deeper than the usual lottery winner story. "For 2 years, I've been living with my daughter Lisa and her husband Miguel. They charged me $400 monthly for their guest room, while I provided free home maintenance, repairs, and childcare. My Social Security check was $450 a month." You could hear a pin drop. Then came the rapid scratching of pens and clicking of phone keyboards. "That left me $50 monthly for personal expenses. Clothes, medicine, gas, anything I needed came out of $50 while I paid their property taxes." A reporter raised her hand. "Mr. Thompson, are you saying your family was financially exploiting you?" "I'm saying my daughter planned to move me to their basement, while telling the community I needed managing due to my age." Meanwhile, they were 3 months behind on their mortgage and drowning in credit card debt. The gasps from the crowd were audible. This wasn't a lottery story anymore. This was elder abuse live on television. Behind the media crowd, I could see people from the community gathering. Bill Hartman was there, along with Pastor Rodriguez, Jimmy Murphy from the corner store, Tom Reeves, the contractor. Faces of people who'd watched my dignity erode and wondered when I'd finally stand up for myself. "Mr. Thompson," another reporter called out, "how do you respond to concerns about elderly people managing large sums of money?" I respond by pointing out that I managed money successfully for 67 years before my family decided I was incompetent. I built a business, raised children, saved for retirement, and never missed a payment on anything. The only financial mistakes I made were trusting people who saw my grief as an opportunity. David Richardson stepped forward to address the legal implications. "Mr. Thompson's mental competency has been professionally verified. His financial independence has been legally established. Any attempts to challenge his decision-making capacity will be met with appropriate legal response." "What about your relationship with your grandchildren?" asked a reporter from the radio station. This was the question I'd been preparing for, the one that mattered most. "I love Sophia and Diego unconditionally. They will always have access to their grandfather, but they'll also grow up understanding that real family love doesn't come with itemized bills. That respect isn't something you charge rent for." My phone had been buzzing constantly in my jacket pocket. Lisa calling Miguel, texting both of them, probably watching this unfold on live television. "Mr. Thompson, where will you live now?" "I'm buying a home in the neighborhood I helped build 40 years ago, where people remember Franklin Thompson the contractor, not Frank Thompson, the inconvenient old man." For my closing statement, I looked directly into the main camera, thinking about other seniors who might be watching other elderly people trapped in similar situations. If you're an older person being told you need managing by family members who benefit financially from that management, ask yourself this: are they protecting you or are they protecting their income? True family love doesn't require monthly payments. The spontaneous applause from the gathered crowd was unexpected and moving. These were my people, working class folks who understood the value of honest labor and fair treatment. As I left the courthouse steps, my phone showed 23 missed calls from Lisa and dozens of increasingly frantic text messages from Miguel begging for a private family discussion. The private discussions were over. During the drive back to their house to collect my belongings and leave their keys, Channel 7's report was already airing. I caught it on the radio: local lottery winner exposes family financial abuse. By the time I reached Seven Oaks Development, Lisa's BMW was gone. They'd fled rather than face their neighbors' reactions to my revelations. I let myself in with my key one final time, packed my few belongings into 2 suitcases, and loaded them into my pickup truck. Everything I owned in the world fit in the back of my Ford F-150. I left their house key on the granite kitchen counter where Lisa had once spread out her financial agreements, where she'd itemized my living expenses like I was a business transaction. No forwarding address, no explanation. Just a clean break from 2 years of systematic humiliation. That evening's news led with my story. Local construction foreman wins $53 million, exposes family financial abuse. More. The interview clips were spreading on social media, picked up by Sacramento stations, then Los Angeles. The community response was overwhelming. Radio call-in shows were flooded with listeners sharing their own stories of family financial manipulation. Former colleagues vouched for my character and work ethic. Church members offered support and validation. We all saw what was happening, Bill Hartman told Channel 7 that evening. Frank Thompson built half this town with his own hands. Seeing him reduced to paid domestic help at his daughter's house was heartbreaking. I checked into the Hampton Inn that night, the first hotel room I'd paid for with my own money in 2 years. Tomorrow I'd start house hunting in the neighborhoods where Thompson Construction had built homes that lasted. My phone rang around 9 p.m. Sophia's number. Grandpa. Her small voice was confused and worried. I saw you on TV. Mommy's crying and Daddy's yelling at the computer. Are you okay? I'm more than okay, sweetheart. Grandpa finally remembered who he really is. Are you still going to get your own house? Already looking, honey. A big house with a workshop where you and Diego can visit anytime you want. Without asking permission. Without asking anyone's permission ever again. Promise. Looking out the hotel window at Bakersfield's lights at the city I'd helped build, where Franklin Thompson meant something again, I felt Helen's presence as clearly as if she were sitting beside me. I promised Sophia, nobody comes between us anymore. The next morning brought unexpected visitors to my hotel. Tom Reeves and 3 other contractors I'd worked with over the years, standing in the lobby with coffee and concerned faces. Frank, we heard what happened, Tom said. Want to tell you something? Every guy in the trades has been talking about your situation for months. We all knew something wasn't right. Why didn't anyone say anything? What were we going to say? Hey, Frank, your daughter's treating you like hired help. Man's got his pride. Tom shook his head. But we're glad you finally spoke up. That took guts. Bill Martinez, another old colleague, handed me a business card. Frank, when you're ready to start looking at houses, call this realtor. She's honest, works with a lot of us construction guys. She'll treat you right. And Frank, Tom added, you ever want to do some consulting work, show the young guys how things should be built, let us know. This town needs more Frank Thompsons, not fewer. Driving through Bakersfield that morning, I passed the Hendersons' house, the Martinez place, the dozens of homes bearing Thompson Construction's craftsmanship. For the first time in 2 years, I felt like I belonged in the community I'd helped create. My phone buzzed with a text from David Richardson. Franklin 3 reporters, want follow-up interviews, and I've had calls from elder rights organizations across California. Your story is resonating beyond Bakersfield. Are you interested in speaking publicly about family financial abuse? I thought about Helen's letter about her determination to protect me even after death. About Sophia and Diego growing up with a better understanding of what family really means. About other seniors facing similar situations who might need to hear that it's never too late to fight back. I texted back, set up the interviews. If my story helps one person avoid what I went through, Helen would say it was worth it. That afternoon, I found the perfect house, a 1,800-square-foot ranch in my old neighborhood, with a 2-car garage that could become the workshop I dreamed of. The realtor, Maria Santos, was everything Bill Martinez had promised, honest, straightforward, no nonsense. Mr. Thompson, I have to ask, are you the lottery winner from the news? That's me. She was quiet for a moment. My grandmother went through something similar with my uncle. Family taking advantage of her Social Security, controlling her life. She was too ashamed to speak up. Maria looked at me with genuine respect. What you did yesterday took courage. Walking through that house, I could see it clearly. Sophia and Diego running through the rooms, helping me in the workshop, learning that their grandfather was someone worth respecting. Helen's garden recreated in the backyard. A life built on dignity instead of dependence. I'll take it, I told Maria. That evening, Sophia called again. Grandpa Diego and I want to see your new house when you get it. You'll be my first visitor, sweetheart. Mommy says we have to ask permission first. I took a deep breath, thinking about legal precedents and grandparent rights and the resources Helen had left me to fight these battles. Sophia, remember what Grandpa promised you. Nobody comes between us. That includes permission. The truth was out there. Bakersfield knew what kind of daughter I'd raised and what kind of man her father really was. Now came the part I was most looking forward to, rebuilding my life and proving that dignity doesn't have an expiration date. Sometimes winning the lottery isn't about the money. Sometimes it's about winning back your life, your respect, and your right to be treated like a human being instead of a revenue stream. And sometimes when you've been pushed as far as you can go, the universe gives you exactly what you need to push back. 6 months later, I stood in the workshop of my new home on Maple Street teaching Diego how to properly join 2 pieces of oak. The boy had inherited his great-grandmother Helen's patience and his grandfather's steady hands. Like this, Grandpa? He asked, carefully aligning the wood pieces. Perfect, buddy. Helen would be proud of how you're learning. Sophia looked up from her own project, a birdhouse she was building entirely herself, start to finish. At 9 years old, she understood measurements better than some adults I'd supervised. Grandpa, tell us again about Great-Grandma's letter. I set down my sandpaper, looking at these 2 children who visited every weekend, now no schedules or supervision required. She knew that sometimes families forget how to treat each other with love and respect, so she made sure Grandpa would have the strength to remind them. Is that why you bought this house? Diego asked. I bought this house so you 2 would always have a place where you're welcome, where you can learn things, where your old grandpa can spoil you properly. They grinned at that. Helen's garden was thriving in the backyard, tended by 3 generations of Thompsons, who understood that some things are worth preserving. My story had resonated far beyond Bakersfield. Within weeks of the press conference, I was fielding calls from senior advocacy groups across California. The Helen Thompson Foundation for Senior Independence, endowed with $5 million from my lottery winnings, was helping families navigate financial elder abuse situations statewide. Mr. Thompson, Maria Santos, my realtor, had said when she stopped by last week, my grandmother saw your interview on Channel 7. She called her nephew the next day and told him the rent arrangement needed to change. She's got her own apartment now. That made it worth it. Every awkward interview, every painful retelling of my story, every moment of public vulnerability. Helen would have said one grandmother's freedom justified everything. The community response had been overwhelming. Thompson Construction's old crew gathered at my house every Saturday morning for coffee and conversation. Bill Hartman was visiting from Arizona more often, staying in my guest room, the one I offered freely without itemized bills or scheduled access. "Frank, you look 10 years younger," he'd observed last month. "Amazing what happens when you stop letting people drain the life out of you." Pastor Rodriguez had asked me to lead a monthly workshop at St. Michael's on family financial boundaries. The first session drew 30 seniors, all with stories eerily similar to mine. We called it Loving Without Enabling, Helen's favorite phrase according to her letter. The legal consequences for Lisa and Miguel had been swift and thorough. David Richardson's documentation led to a civil settlement requiring them to repay $28,000 in overcharges plus attorney fees. More importantly, court-ordered grandparent rights ensured Sophia and Diego's access to me was legally protected, not dependent on their parents' whims. They moved to a small apartment on the east side, Tom Reeves had told me recently. Lost the house to foreclosure 3 months after your monthly payments stopped. Miguel's working at H&R Block during tax season. Lisa's selling insurance now. I felt no satisfaction in their downfall, just sadness that it had taken financial ruin to make them examine their choices. But Sophia and Diego were thriving, and that mattered more than their parents' pride. "Grandpa," Sophia said, putting finishing touches on her birdhouse, "Mommy asked if we want to have dinner with her and Daddy next week. What did you tell her?" "We said we'd think about it." Diego looked up from his wood joinery. "Is that okay?" I'd been dreading this moment, but also preparing for it. Helen's letter had taught me that love sometimes requires letting people face consequences, but it also required forgiveness when they genuinely changed. Kids, your parents made mistakes. Big mistakes that hurt people. But they're still your parents, and if you want to see them, that's your choice. "Will you come with us?" Sophia asked hopefully. "Sweetheart, some conversations have to happen without Grandpa. But you'll always have this house to come back to afterward." They nodded solemnly, understanding more about family dynamics at 8 and 10 than many adults ever learned. My phone rang David Richardson with updates on the Foundation's latest cases. We'd helped 12 families in the past month, providing legal aid and housing assistance to seniors facing family exploitation. The work felt like Helen's hands guiding mine, building something that would last beyond my lifetime. "Franklin, there's a case in Fresno that sounds familiar," David said. 73-year-old widower daughter charging rent, basement apartment in the works. Sound familiar? Set up a meeting. And David, let's make sure he knows he has choices. That evening I sat in Helen's garden with my weekly lottery ticket, still playing the same numbers out of habit, not hope. The birdhouse Sophia had built hung from the oak tree alongside 3 others from Diego's previous visits, evidence of children who felt welcome, valued, and loved without conditions. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. "Dad, it's Lisa. Could we talk sometime? Not about money or houses or anything like that, just talk, if you're willing." I stared at the message for a long time, thinking about Helen's voice in my memory. "Franklin, forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing not to let their mistakes define your happiness." I texted back, "Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock. You come to my house." Setting boundaries wasn't cruelty. It was sanity. Saturday brought another workshop at St. Michael's. 15 seniors this time, including Martha Henderson, whose son had been managing her Social Security while she lived in his converted garage. "Mr. Thompson," she said afterward, "I never thought I deserved better. Your story made me realize that age doesn't make us disposable. Martha, you built this community alongside me for 40 years. You deserve respect, not management." Driving home, I passed the house where Lisa and Miguel used to live. New owners had painted it yellow. Helen would have loved that. Life moves forward, bringing new families to spaces where old ones had failed to thrive. Sunday afternoon arrived with December sunshine and a knock on my door. Lisa stood on my front porch looking smaller than I remembered, wearing clothes that had seen better days. "Hi, Dad." "Lisa." We sat in Helen's garden, awkward as teenagers on a first date. She looked at the birdhouses, the thriving vegetables, the workshop where I could hear Diego's laughter floating through the window. "The kids seem happy here." "They are. Children need to feel welcome, not tolerated." She was quiet for a moment. "Dad, I know saying sorry doesn't fix anything. But I need you to know we never meant for it to become what it became." "What did you think it was?" "Survival. Miguel's business was failing. My listings weren't selling, we were drowning. When you moved in and offered to help with expenses, it felt like relief. Then it became normal. Then it became necessary." She looked at her hands. "I stopped seeing you as my father and started seeing you as income." "Lisa, why didn't you just ask for help? Why the charade of caring for me?" "Because asking for help meant admitting failure. Pretending to care for you meant we were good people in a difficult situation. The honesty was brutal and necessary." "What changed?" I asked. "Watching the kids choose you over us. Seeing Sophia draw pictures of her sad grandpa. Diego asking why we charge family members money." Her voice cracked. "They were learning that love has a price tag, and we were teaching them." I thought about Helen's letter about choosing not to let their mistakes define my happiness. "Lisa, I forgive you. But forgiveness doesn't erase consequences. It doesn't restore trust overnight. And it doesn't make me responsible for fixing what you broke." "I know. I wanted you to know we're trying to do better. Miguel's in counseling for his business anxiety. I'm working on myself too. And we told the kids they can see you anytime, no conditions." "They already knew that. The court made sure of it." She nodded, accepting responsibility. "Dad, can I ask you something? Do you ever think about what would have happened if you hadn't won the lottery?" I considered the question seriously. I think Helen's letter would have given me courage eventually. Maybe not $53 million worth of courage, but enough. Sometimes people need to hit bottom before they remember they know how to climb. We talked for another hour, carefully, honestly, without promises neither of us was ready to make. When she left, I felt something lighter in my chest. Not reconciliation exactly, but the possibility that someday we might find our way back to being family instead of adversaries. That evening, Sophia and Diego helped me prepare dinner, Helen's famous pot roast recipe, adapted for smaller portions and bigger appetites. Grandpa, Sophia said, setting the table, "Are you happy now?" Looking around my kitchen at these children, who felt secure in my love at the life I'd built from the ashes of exploitation and grief, I felt Helen's presence as clearly as if she were standing beside me. "Yes, sweetheart. Grandpa is happy. And more importantly, Grandpa is free." Free from what? Free to choose who I spend my time with, free to live with dignity, free to love you both without asking anyone's permission. Diego grinned. "And free to teach us woodworking whenever we want." "Especially that." After dinner, we sat in the workshop while I showed them Helen's tools, the ones she'd used for her own projects now being passed to another generation. The lottery ticket for this week sat in my wallet, same numbers as always, but representing hope instead of desperation. Sometimes winning the lottery isn't about the money. Sometimes it's about winning back your life, your self-respect, and your right to be treated like a human being instead of a revenue stream. And sometimes when you've been pushed as far as you can go, the universe doesn't just give you what you need to push back. It gives you the resources to help others find their own strength to stand up, speak out, and remember that dignity doesn't have an expiration date. Helen would have been proud. Justice doesn't scream. It shows up on time. And family love should never be measured in dollars. If you've ever had to stand your ground against family betrayal, share your story in the comments. Your words might give someone else the courage to fight back. And don't forget to subscribe to True Family Revenge so you won't miss the next story of justice and redemption.